Hey, my name is Jesus Castello, and in this video, you're going to learn about AJAX. What is AJAX and why it's important? This is a fundamental topic for any web developer. So if you're learning about Rails, this is very important for you to know. So what is AJAX exactly? Well, AJAX is when you make a request to the server from the browser. So instead of doing the request from the server using Ruby, in this case I'm using JavaScript to tell the browser to make this request. And when we make the request, we get a response back, and that response usually will be in JSON format. And let's look at this code. So right now we have this API endpoint, and I'm showing an alert box with the data. So let me run this. And right here you can see this is the result that we get from the AJAX request. And these some users, we can see first name, last name, ID, right? And we can go work with that data. How I'm doing this? Well, I'm using JavaScript plus jQuery. So jQuery is a JavaScript library that just makes things a bit easier for you. And it gives you methods like get, and then this each right here that we are going to be using now, and this append. So let's use those. I'm going to comment the alert. And what I want to do now is to take this HTML container, this div, and this paragraph tag, and I want to drop these users into here. So to do that, I take the down function, which is called whenever the data comes back, this call. And then you get the data, and we can, this like the Ruby each method, right? We can go over every element and do something with it. So what I'm doing with the data, well, I'm appending to this div, and I'm accessing the data itself with the keys ID, first name. There is also a last name if you want to use that. And if I run this code, you're going to see on the right how now we get the ID, name, ID, name, ID, name. And this data is coming from this URL. This URL, when you go here to this URL, you get the JSON, and then we can turn that JSON into this. So that's what AJAX does. AJAX allows you to request some data and then get JSON back and do something with it. That's what AJAX is. Now, how is this different from requesting this data from Ruby? I can go to Pry, for example. Let's require Faraday, and with Faraday we can get the exact same URL. You can see it's the same. And here, if I request this, we get the response, and if I get the body, this is the same JSON that's coming from here. And we can also do an each. So we can do data. Well, first we have to parse this, so we have to do require JSON, then JSON.parse data, and there it is. And now we can do data each, and now it's the same thing as here, only that instead of printing to the web page, we are printing to the terminal. So let's do that just for demonstration purposes. This is going to be the element, let's call this E for element. Then I'm going to do puts E ID, and then let's do put E first name, and there it goes. 1 George, 2 Janet, 3 Emma. So oops, it's like right here. So why would you want to use AJAX instead of this? Or let me flip around that question. Why not just do this with Ruby? Or why not just do this with AJAX? Well, with AJAX, the thing is that your JavaScript code is going to be public. So if you are using an API key, everyone is going to see that API key. So you only use AJAX for public APIs, or when the user is using his own key. Then if you want to use some private API, let's say like Stripe is a payment processor, or PayPal, or any other thing that will be private that you don't want to expose the API key or the data, right? Then you will use Ruby, because from Ruby the code, the user can't see your Ruby code unless you share it on GitHub or something like that. This way, when you access the API from Ruby, you can also save it to the database. You can, of course, use Ruby code to work with this data, things like that. So that's the difference. And the advantage of doing it with JavaScript is that you can access your own API. So if you're writing a Rails app that is API only, then maybe you can build your front end by requesting the data from your Rails app, and then you render it using that JSON data. That's one way to do things. So that's AJAX. Remember, it's nothing super special, it's just a way to request data from a server, and usually this will be JSON, and then you can work with that data. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please click the like button for me so I know that you like it. If you want to keep learning, watch more of my videos, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and visit my website rubyguides.com. In there you will find a lot more tutorials and a lot more information to help you keep improving your Ruby skills. Thanks a lot for watching. I will see you in the next video.